Well, welcome back to another episode of Video Games and Consoles from the Loft. This is part 2, and today we're looking at Coleco's tabletop mini arcade classic Galaxian. Now, Galaxian was made by Namco and was released in 1979 by Midway. The game itself is an expanded idea on Space Invaders, but has a few extra twists. Now, in the early 80s, Coleco managed to license 5 top arcade titles, which were Frogger, Donkey Kong, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man and Galaxian, and then turn them into these tabletop mini arcade classics, which were really well made. They looked like the machines themselves, but only smaller. They were great for taking home, they were great for travelling, and they were great for storage. Nice one, Coleco, I say. Let's take a closer look. Now, Coleco released this game in 1981. I managed to pick this up on eBay a few years back, but sadly it doesn't come with its box or instructions, but that doesn't matter because it's still in great condition. Now, all 5 of the tabletop classics that Coleco released are virtually identical in shape, in that arcade style. They each have their unique controls and fire buttons depending on the game that you're playing, and they each have their unique sticker pattern around the sides, fronts and around the controls and on the top, which are really good looking actually and really make this game look fantastic. Now, if you're thinking about buying one of these, make sure that these stickers are intact, because most that I have looked at, I've actually lost these stickers, so they're obviously quite susceptible to being ripped off. So look out for that if you're thinking about buying one. Let's have a look at the controls and the gameplay. Now, on this control panel you'll notice that there are 2 control sticks and 2 fire buttons. This is because Galaxian supports a 2-player head-to-head battle. Now, for a 1-player game you'll select the switch at the top here to the middle position, where actually player 1 can select between 2 different games, Galaxian and Midway attackers, by either moving the control stick left and right, and then the game will start. Both these games are very similar and both use the same graphics as one another as well. Now, for a 2-player game you'll move the switch over to the right hand position, where once again you have a selection whether you want a short head-to-head or a long head-to-head battle. So both those are excellent. So let's have a look at the gameplay itself. Well, let's start off with a 1-player game and we'll select Galaxian. Here it comes. Now, your enemy ships will sit up in the top of the screen there, but they'll come down really fast in like a kamikaze manoeuvre and try and kill you as quickly as they can. So it's quite easy to die on this game. So right from the off, it's actually quite hard. And then when your boss ship comes down to try and kill you, he'll screech like that with the sound effects. Now I managed to get it. So that's basically the game, and each level just gets faster and harder, and it just gets absolutely mad. I'll switch this one off a moment and we'll have a look at the Midway attackers. Now, this is practically the same as Space Invaders, where your enemy ships will all line up like they are there, and they'll move from left to right, and then they'll drop down one and rotate and get faster and harder. And here they come, look, they're starting to move across the screen pretty quickly now and firing at random, so it's quite easy to die again. Really addictive, both these games. And that's it, game over apparently. So I'll just quickly show you the 2-player. If I select a short head-to-head, and just move the camera up a bit there. Now, basically, one player is at the bottom of the screen manoeuvring his ship, firing up, and the other player is at the top of the screen, firing down. And you're supposed to be hitting the ships and trying to kill one another. It's kind of a bit mad and doesn't really make an awful lot of sense. I don't really understand the points or anything like that. It's quite hard to play when you've only got 1 player. So, but it's a really good game and great fun. Unfortunately, there are no sound controls on any of these games that Coleco released, which is a shame really, because the sound is a little loud and can get a little bit annoying. There is also no power cord connections on any of these games either, so underneath here in the battery compartment you're going to have to fit 4 of those large C batteries again. But really, none of this really matters, because these are great gaming classics and you've got to get one of these. Now, you can probably pick one of these up on eBay from anything from £15 to £200, 30 to about $300 in America. And again, that's all on condition, whether it has the box or instructions. Now, some of these are actually quite hard to come across, but they are well worth it, and I seriously recommend you get one. I hope you've enjoyed this find of mine today, and I hope you'll join me for part 3, which will be coming out next Sunday. And thanks again for watching more video games and consoles from the Loft.